Hey bro, thanks for this amazing opportunity for me to pick up this PC, bro. Thanks so much. Is there like, what's this all about?
Oh yeah, mate, I'm actually dropping this off from a friend. I'll just quickly let you talk to him on the phone.
Hey buddy, how's it going? Nice to meet you. Yeah, look, here's a PC here, man. Tested it about 2 years ago. It's an absolute ripper. If you have any dramas, mate, I'll whip you on the street, buddy. But yeah, look, she'll set you straight, so enjoy it.
Oh hey guys, I'm gonna take this thing back home right now and play some games on it.
In nature, when the hoser takes advantage of the hosee, the hosee will then the hosee will then just type in GG well played.
So you've just met someone at your local gas station, you've come home, you've started to test those used PC parts that you've bought from the said person, but nothing's working. This is what I call a classical hosing. That is when you're promised something that would work and it doesn't work. Or you just got scammed, pretty much. This has happened to me in the past, and when I've asked for the money back, I've just been ignored. It's actually happened to me 2 times in Australia in 2016 when I got back home, and never again am I doing it ever again. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And I guess the second time, it was shame on me. However, before we get into this video, and before we get into story time, I'm going to say that there are some comments where people have had great experiences with meeting someone down at the gas station, and it works for them, aka down under the petrol station. So part of Tech Yes City is a big part of this channel is doing what works for you. I'm only doing what works for me, and I'd say we're having a dandy old time here, especially with the Tech Yes loving around the channel here. But straight away, doing what works best for you is always something I recommend. I'm just here to, I guess, elaborate on a piece of information that I said in one of my recent videos where I said I no longer meet people at the gas station and I don't recommend doing so. So let's roll that intro and let's go story mode around Tech Yes City. Are you ready? Let's go!
Excuse me, but I'm in the market for a B550 motherboard.
Really? If so, ASRock's B550 ITX Phantom Gaming has you covered with a VRM capable of handling the latest 3950X, solid onboard audio from Nahimic, and also PCIe Gen 4 readily available. Links in description below to find out more.
So in 2016, when I returned from Japan, I had already got hosed in Japan over the Yahoo auctions, which in ways Yahoo auctions is known in Japan for basically just having no claim, no return. They're just like, a lot of the guys will just be selling out, even a lot of the time, just untested stuff. So I wasn't really angry about getting hosed in Japan because it goes with the territory. You're getting this stuff super cheap. A lot of the times, even if the seller says it works, you're getting it for a ridiculously cheap price. But when I got back from Japan, there was 2 instances in 2016 when I had met young guys as well. Young guys, 2 young guys at the gas station. Both times I got hosed. And, you know, they look you in the eyes. I don't even know if these guys are just, they think the stuff is semi-faulty, but someone can just bring it magically back to life. But the first time was an R9 280, and I bought this from a guy at the gas station. And I mean, we did get a signal out of it. The problem is when you try to install a driver, the card was just, it's gone. It's not a working card. So I messaged the guy. I said, look, can I get my money back, dude? And he basically gave me that rundown of, no, the card was working when it left my place, so I'm not going to give you a refund. And so at this point in time, you're just wasting your money on a $120 part that you most likely not going to get your money back from. So that's why the guy met me at the gas station the first time. The second time was actually a CPU. It was like, I think it was an i3 2120. I got it for $10, but I mean, it was like, I didn't care at all. But I met a guy at the gas station. He said, yeah, this little i3 is going to be great for a little PC. Put it out of a PC and it was working absolutely fine. Got home, tested out the i3, just kept shutting the whole system. Like the motherboard just kept shutting off. And that's generally, it's rare, like it's actually a rare thing to get a faulty CPU, or one that's completely gone. So that can happen, especially if it's been exposed to a bad switchboard, a power supply is blowing out, or a lightning storm. But at the same time, it was $10, so I just didn't even care. But that was the second time I'd met someone down the good old station, and it was the second time that I'd got hosed. Now here's where things get a little bit worse, because this is only my 2 experiences of being hosed down the good old station. But I've had people in Australia message me personally, and they've said, Brian, I've been hosed for, say, an RTX 2060. I met someone down the gas station, and they handed me an RTX 2060 box, quickly took my money. When I got home, there was like a GTX 650 in the box or something. Like, so they got completely hosed on these deals. And I mean, in ways, I guess it's partially their own fault that they didn't check over the whole product before they got it. But what's there to stop someone from putting in, say, a faulty RTX 2060 in that box anyhow? So it's very hard, first of all, to validate parts when you're meeting someone down the good old station. So that's the reason I just don't do it. When I'm going over to someone's place to buy the part, I'm going to go either check the part or I know where they live. So if I want a refund, if I get the part home and it just clearly doesn't work, then I can take it back and get a refund. And so this is another story where I have been over to someone's place before and they sold me a graphic. They actually came to me. They messaged me personally and they said, Brian, I've got a deal for you, an R9 270. And I was like, cool, like how much do you want for it? They said $110 initially. I just said, dude, that's way too much for an R9 270. So then they came back to me and they said, look, I'll do it for 70. I said, okay, that's a fair price. And this was, I think it was like during a time where graphics cards were getting sort of depleted. They were hard in stock. So this guy was just around the corner from me, about a 10-minute drive. So I quickly drove down to his place and I was talking to him. And I said, dude, like, you know, these parts work, right? They're fine. He's like, yeah, man, the old good old swear to God, they work, they're fine. And I said, well, when did you last test them? And they said, oh, like I tested them over 6 months ago. So when someone tells you that they tested parts over a long time ago, I would start really raising some suspicions on whether that PC part works or not. So straight away, there was alarm bells ringing in my head. I'm like, okay, well, maybe this PC part doesn't work at all. And so I said to him, look, I know where you live, so it's not going to be a problem. Basically, that's in the back of my mind. So I took the PC part, I gave him the cash, and then I got home, and I didn't test it I think it was like a little bit late at night, like 8 p.m. or something. And hey, don't worry, like the Tech Yes hustle, it's sort of like 24/7 kind of thing. But I got it home the next day. I put it in a system I've got my test bench, quickly booted it up, bang. No signal, got that B2 error. This card was just gone skis. And so I messaged the guy and I said, mate, you just sold me a dud card. And he said, straight away his reply was, I don't do refunds, sorry. And I said to him, what? Like, that's a weird reply to get from someone. I don't do refunds straight away. I said, this card doesn't work. You sold me a dud. It wasn't anything else. Just like, I don't do refunds. So basically what I said after that was, I was like, okay, I'm going to be returning this graphics card either the good way or the bad way. So I just rocked up at their place, had the graphics card ready to go, and they came out, they gave me a refund. So it was all fine. And so that's the difference between meeting up at the gas station and meeting at someone's place. Now, did the last case, that last scenario, did that person intentionally hose me? I don't know. But all 3 cases where I've had faulty parts being sold as parts that were working, all the time it's been young dudes. Maybe they're hungry for cash, but that's not the right way to get your cash. You don't just completely hose people down. It's the wrong way to do it. So I mean, even if he didn't know if the part was working properly or not, he could have sold it as untested and recouped some of his money. So coming out of all this, what's the moral of the story? Basically, it is if you can't validate someone's credentials, you either don't know where they live or you don't know who they are or whatever, then there's a high chance that this person is going to hose you down. So now we're going to go on to the next reason though. This one's an important one because I live down under in Australia. And this one is the fact that Australia was basically a nation of convicts a couple of 100 years ago. So those grassroots are still within Aussie to this day. So you've just got to learn how to sort of navigate your way through the murky waters. And now continuing on with the next couple of stories, these are even worse than what I've said before. But one of these just came in this morning. A guy was looking for a gaming PC from us. He had just told me that he had deposited $500 down on an RTX 2070 super build that was on Gumtree. And I said to the guys like, whoa, okay, what happened? And he basically told me that he had deposited money for this bill. The guy was then going to post it. But then a few days later, there's no replies or anything. He tried calling him and he'd realized his number had been blocked. He'd tried calling on another number. The guy picks up the phone and then realizes it's him and then blocks that second number. So this is a scenario that I've heard in the past as well. And that is depositing money to people who you don't know over the internet for, say, goods that look legitimate. I mean, this guy might have this PC, but he has no intention of selling it. And so I asked him about the person selling it, and he said that the seller had no reputation or like no feedback. And I was like, whoa, okay, take a step back there. So you're giving money to someone you don't know, and they've got no feedback. So that straight away was a recipe for disaster. And I've heard this as well from a guy that I bought 2 PCs off, who when he actually, like, this other guy actually got these PCs, but they were completely different and they just both of them didn't turn on at all. This was back over 2 videos that I've done over the last couple of months. Poor guy said he bought them from a guy up north, and even in the recent the $100 flip up challenge, we looked at what had gone on with one of those PCs, where one of the hard drives have even been like raid petitioned half its size. It was just insane, like what some people who are very knowledgeable, even people who are very knowledgeable in tech, will do to hose people down. So after I saw that, I was kind of like, bottom line is nothing's going to surprise me anymore when it comes to people getting hosed, but there are precautions that you need to take. And the reasons being is because, as I said in the GTX, I made some video about this. There was this video we made on the channel here where I was like, don't buy this graphics card. And I just said, like, this is obviously a scam. And people were in the comments and they were saying, Brian, what if it's not a scam? And it's like, it's that same line of thinking that gets you scammed in the first place. There's just simple protocol. And that's what I'm following. When I say I don't want to meet people at the gas station, it's all back to protocol, because there's no recourse. There's no way for you to get your money back. So same with the bank deposit. Once you put that money in that person's account, there's generally no way of getting that money back. I mean, the guy who spoke to me this morning, he did tell me that he was filing a thing with his bank. So hopefully in 2020, they've made some kind of fair dispute round where he can hopefully get his $500 back. But I said to him, I was like, dude, there's little chance that you're going to be getting your money back. So just understand that even though you and I think a certain way and we won't hose people down, there are people out there that won't hesitate to hose people down. And that's what you gotta, like, coming out of this, you gotta understand that every human being on this planet is different. And with that difference comes a different way of thinking. And so once you do that, you'll understand that there's just protocol, ways of doing things that's gonna stop you from getting hosed. Anyhow, guys, that video as well, that GTX, whatever it was, I think it was like a 1050 Ti for $50. That ended up being a scam. Like, people messaged me a few days later, like, yeah, dude, apparently there's this, I think they might have saw the video, like the retailer might have saw the video and then cracked down on it on behalf of the customers. So I think if you guys got your money back for that, like, please let us know in the comments. Anyway, other than that, that's the story of the gas station. The worst I have been hosed for on a PC part is that $120. And that's never coming back. That 120, man, it's gone forever. It's circulating out there in the economy somewhere. Someone's spending those 250s and a 20 that I put out there, and I got nothing for it. I did get something for it. It was a negative too. This is the thing. Not only are you getting hosed, you're getting hosed for your time too. You wasted all that time. So you got double whammied when you get that so-called deal. So anyhow, guys, I'm going to be signing off with this video. If you enjoyed this one, then be sure to hit that like button. Also, let us know in the comment section below your experiences with the gas station, getting hosed, whatnot. Love reading those thoughts and opinions as always. Well, in this case, I'm not going to really love reading these thoughts and opinions. They're not really good stories to be had. But at least if people can see what's going on out there, they can realize, just even based off the comments, to take these precautions and not get scammed. Because one thing is for certain, I love each and every one of you guys out there, especially if you're a Tech Yes citizen and you've hit that sub button and rung that bell. Though with that aside, we got the question of the day here, which comes from a user called Chaotic, and they ask, I'm curious about what you do when you make multiple offers. Like this video, you made 3 offers on 3 GPUs. If they all accepted, do you get them all? use the other two in your PC parts hunts or only the best deal and use it for this series. So this is actually like really interesting because usually like I'll just buy, like if I've made offers down on these GPUs and they all came back, I just buy them all. And that's because I'm making offers that I know are sticking to that code of discipline. I guess this is that protocol thing we talked about. It's even coming into pricing and everything. You got to be disciplined. And it's the most important thing. It's the same with prices. So when I offer all that on those GPUs, I'm prepared to pay that. And so I'm going to stick to that. And that's why you won't see me going cannonball and going stupid on prices. Like I won't overpay for stuff because you're finding there's actually, I might even have to make another follow-up video on this, is that locally here now, I made a video saying prices were going to come down on PC parts. And at the time, like people were like, really, they're kind of staying high, but now we're seeing it. It's coming down. And a lot of people are messaging me saying they can't sell their gaming PCs. And I said, well, it's all about balance. It's all about balance. There's so much demand, that demand's going to go down. And that's what's happening. So basically, the tying that all back is if you don't get the good deals, if you overpay for stuff, it's going to come back to bite you, where you may even lose money on your gaming PCs. If you can't hold, or of course, if something like RTX 3000 series is right around the corner, which it is. And we don't exactly know what that's going to bring 100% yet, but we already know that RTX 2000 series has completely stopped production. There's no more of those cards being made, which tells you a lot. Even if we're just looking at on Nvidia's behalf as a business, that should tell you a lot of what's going to go on. Anyhow, guys, I'll catch you in another tech video very soon. Peace out for now. Bye.